Jason Goliath said something extremely profound. One of the most profound things he said was, when you can come to the realization that your wife is a reflection of how you show up in the marriage.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
I was listening to Kurt's episode, and I grew up in a very, a conservative Christian house. So now, for our listeners, I'll put a link to this episode. And Kurt's not married to his partner.
Yes.
But he said, you choose your partner every day.
And
I was like,
I did. My response was, I laughed. And my wife said, why did you laugh? I said, I laughed because I struggled to process what he was saying.
Yeah.
Because afterwards I was like, that is a powerful thing that you go, I do choose you every day.
We're rolling. All the cameras are rolling. Oh yeah, we clap. Fantastic. You know as well from your podcast.
Yeah. So, hi everyone, and welcome to your second favorite podcast. My name is Kosi.
And I'm Dave.
And this is Kosi and Dave have a podcast. So it's very exciting. Today we have a legend of comedy, also owns his own production company, Taylor Made Productions. Please help me welcome Stuart Taylor.
Awesome.
Hello.
Yeah, so glad to have you on.
Exciting.
Thank you. And I love the name of your podcast.
Yeah, it was. I think very often people overthink it, but sometimes you just got to call it what it is.
Exactly. My podcast started very recently, and it's been a year. It was literally a year in the pipeline, and the thing that stopped it was the name. Because I went through about 20 different names, and then it was called this, then it was called that, and then eventually it found a name. And once it's got a name, then you can do it.
Can we start with that? Learn a Husband is your podcast?
Yes.
But I also know that you wrote a book almost like 2 decades ago called Learn a Husband.
Correct.
And you had a stand-up show called Learn a Husband.
Yeah.
So basically, Learn a Husband was a great brand. I did a show, the origins of Learn a Husband start like this. I was doing a show called Techni-Coloured many, many years ago. Okay. And the last 10 minutes of the show was about, I wish there was a manual for becoming a husband like you. We have a driving manual. No, they can teach you and whatever. And you go on an advanced driving course, you leave that course, you feel like, oh, I'm good at this. Why can't we have a course like that for marriage? That was the premise. It was silly and it was fun. And when I was getting ready to write a show after that, I was working with a director called Heinrich Reisenhofer, and he said, yo man, that idea of the book, it's a compelling idea. I said, yeah, but I mean, we've done the material. Surely that's all there is to say about marriage, that 10 minutes. And he was like, no, let's mind it. Let's mind it, Stuart. And at this point, I was married for about 7 years. We mined it, and it became a show called Learn a Husband. It started at the Baxter Theatre around about a January, like a mid-January, and ran for 3 weeks. Massive success. And we brought it back in March, and we brought it back that December. And throughout that year, it just toured. I mean, it ran for a month at the Market Theatre, and then 6 weeks at Peter Turin's Theatre in Monte Cassino. Sure. And then it ran at toured with I think a mutual sponsored a national tour. And it was just, it was a runaway success. And at the end of it, everyone kept on saying, oh, where can I get the book? Because the whole premise was, I have written the book. Yeah. And it was, there's the Tom Cruise is in that movie, Magnolia.
Yes.
Where he's like the motivational speaker type person.
Love it.
Sure.
Yeah.
The character, Heinrich, loved that movie, and he kind of wanted me to kind of lean into that type of, okay, boys, take out your books, we're going to page 72. And it became it was an anti-comedy show. You would sit in this comedy show, people had to write a test. Have you ever? There was a pen and paper. Really? Everyone got in, they got a pen and paper, and we tell you what kind of husband you were. It was so funny and so silly, and it was a really great show. But everyone would come and say, when can we buy the book? When can we buy the book?
Sure.
And at the end of the run, I remember it was 2010. It was a week before the World Cup started. Heinrich and I were in Joburg, and he said, Stu, we got to write the book. And then we set out to write the book. And about 2 years later, the book was published. And we went on another tour with the book. It was called the Book Launch Tour, and that was fantastic. And it remained this brand that I loved. And the ethos is, everyone in the world seems to know what they are doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Seems to know.
And as soon as you talk to them, you realize, oh, they don't know either. But we kind of have a snippet of advice here and a bit of a thing over here. So if we can piece this together, maybe we can come up with a how-to manual on everything that you wish had a how-to manual. And decades later, when I was talking to Grant, who's a cameraman and a collaborator of mine, I I was saying to him, oh, okay, listen, I finally got the name for the podcast. It's called Neighborhood Watch. And it's about when you turn 40, you join the Neighborhood Watch, and it's going to be about this, that, and the other. And, it's about life in the burbs. It's about marriage, about kids. And he was like, it sounds like it's Learn a Husband. And I was like, it does kind of sound like what I talk about in Learn a Husband. So Learn a Husband, the podcast is not just about talking to husbands. Sure. Ultimately, it's going to be about talking to anyone who's in a relationship, or anyone who's raising kids, or anyone who's finding their way in as an entrepreneur. Just my life, like everything in my life. I go, I wish I knew how to do that. I wish, and so now I've got teenage kids. Yeah. And next week I'm going to sit down with Nick Feinberg and go, how do you raise a freaking Springbok, bruh? Like, not that I want my kid to be a Springbok, but like he's got two of the most confident sons. Like his sons are so confident. I'm like, how do you do that, bruh? How do you instill that in your family? So to pick the brains of people who you think are getting it right. And it's not to say that Nick is a perfect father, perfect husband, got his life together. Yeah. Everyone is still struggling. But you know what? There's that little bit of information. Yeah. You go, I could actually use that. Yeah. And some of it is silly. I mean, we were the episode with Jason Goliath was so fantastic because it was all these silly practical tips. It was like, bro, if you know you're going to be late, rather say you're going to be much later. Then when you arrive earlier, then she's like, you came early. As opposed to go, I'll be there at 8. Now at 8:15, you're going, so exactly. Like, no, say I'll be there at 9:30. Yeah. And then you get there at 9. And she's like, you came early. Exactly. Look how happy Kosi is over there.
I'm taking that.
Exactly.
That is amazing.
It's like that is it. Like, I really want the Learn a Husband podcast to be this fun conversation where we sit around and go, listen, man, let me tell you this little trick. Let me tell you this little tip. Let me tell you this piece of advice that I heard.
Sure. Yeah. I think also I love how you described it that way, because when I saw it, I was like, okay, I can give it a listen, but I'm pretty sure I won't learn anything, because I saw Learn a Husband and I'm like, I'm not a husband and I'll never be a husband, so I won't learn anything. So I love like the practical examples that you gave, clearly showing that anyone can actually listen to this podcast and get something from it.
Yeah, so it's just the name, but it's really, it's the how-to manual for everything in life you wish came with the how-to manual. And I always start by saying, I'm not here to give you advice. I'm just here to take notes and ask questions.
Sure.
Because that's it. I mean, I might have some ideas or some thoughts, but you tell me yours. Yeah. And also when I do give my own advice, then my wife watches the episode. She's like, oh really?
Yeah.
I wish you would take that advice of yours.
Amazing. What's the best piece of advice or best piece of information you've got from any of your guests?
I think they all have very different bits and pieces. For me, Jason Goliath said something extremely profound. One of the most profound things he said was, when you can come to the realization that your wife is a reflection of how you show up in the marriage.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you go, but you are not X, well, then maybe you are not showing up in a way that allows her to be that or prompts her to be that.
Wow.
That's one of those things that make you go, geez, that's a bit of a heavy thing. Yeah. And then something as silly as talking to Dalen about marrying an artist, Dalen Oliver, a comedian, married to Maxine Caesar, musician, and what it's like, and the joy of having someone who gets it. Or you don't have to be explaining, listen, I'm going to have to go on tour. I'm going to have to do these things. Yeah. Max is just like, why are you here? Why are you not in another country? Why are you not in another city? Yeah. Like those things you go, okay, well, now how do you navigate it if you don't have a partner who's in that space? Yeah. And what's the advice around that? And it's been every episode feels like I walk away with something.
Yeah. I was listening to Kurt's episode and he said, it was something that was really I grew up in a very conservative Christian house. So now for our listeners, I'll put a link to this episode in. Kurt's not married to his partner.
Yes.
But he said, you choose your partner every day.
And
I was like,
and I did. My response is, I laughed. And my wife said, why did you laugh? I said, I laughed because I struggled to process what he was saying. Yeah. Like it took me a while to process. I was like, let me. Yeah. The laugh was just like a response. It wasn't because I was laughing at what he was saying. Yeah. Because afterwards I was like, that is a powerful thing that you go, I do choose you every day.
Sure.
But then Dalen on the flip side went, I've never felt about a girlfriend the way I feel about my wife. Like there's something that happens when you make that commitment. Because I was asking about mommy's boy, come on now, you're still a bit of a mommy's boy. He's like, no, the apron strings are cut because this is my person now.
Yeah.
And there was no girlfriend that was my person. Not that it was just like for him a switch flipped when he got married. It was like now everyone aside, it's the two of us on this journey. So it's funny how same outcome, different lens you look through. So
that I mean, for me, my wife, like I kind of felt like she was going to be my wife from when we started dating.
Right.
It was probably similar to what Danon said, and I imagine it's similar to Kurt was like.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I'll tell you, like I'm sure you. Maybe this is we'll bank this bit over here and I'll ask Kurt if I can say this. Kurt and Catherine started dating early on, right? We were housemates when they were dating, and like this was just the person. This was his person.
Yeah.
And what I found to be really a strange thing was like early in their dating career, they went for couples counseling.
Amazing.
And I was like, surely you're dating, you just split. And he was like, no. We've got issues. We're going to work through it. And so we'll find a way. How wild is that?
That is amazing.
Sure.
But that's such a lesson for marriage from someone who isn't married, which I love.
It is quite something.
Awesome.
And cut. We'll go from there. I'll find out.
That's awesome. I'm just learning, I'm not yet married. So, but I'm literally learning from both of you guys. I think mine personally is, I know when I was just reading through that you did a Bachelor of Science.
Yes.
And you graduated from the University of Stellenbosch with the BSc. But currently you're not doing anything related to science.
No. I never did. I think I got like a good 4-minute comedy bit out of inseminating cows, and now recently I got like a good 6-minute bit about Stellenbosch in the 90s, and that's kind of what I got out of my degree, among other things.
Yeah, that's actually interesting because I'm literally, I think I'm going to be the same. I don't know if I should say I'm the same or I'm going to be the same, but I'm also doing a BSc, but I know this is not what I want to do. I don't know.
I don't know a single person. I don't know a single person. I know one person who ended up in the field that we were studying.
Sure.
No one else in our class ended up working in the science field.
Yeah.
One or two, they wanted to medical reps, and that's as close to science as you get, but really it's not. It's sales. Candice was the only one. The rest of us all ended up in alternative fields, but we all learned something in that space. There's one friend of ours who was like the most, the dude with the best foresight. Like we all got to year number 3 and we were all just like, yo, we don't know where this is going, but it's too late to turn back now. And one of our buddies was just like a year away from finish, just went, I'm done. And started a IT course, a degree. Sure. And so literally start from scratch. When we were in our third year, well, maybe our fourth, he was a first year and he was like, there's nothing in that for me. I'm going to go, I don't care about genetics. I'm going to go and do IT. And now he's an IT guy.
Oh my word. Yeah. So how did you know though? Like I studied this, and actually, did you actually want to pursue it in the beginning? And maybe that's why you studied it. And how did you know, okay, this is not what I want to do?
It's a very organic thing. So the story goes like this. When I was at primary school and I see a magician performing at a center, and I go, wow, this is amazing. I want to learn magic tricks. And I end up at a place called the College of Magic.
Sure.
It's in Claremont. You learn magic tricks. You go and do kids' birthday parties.
Okay.
Fast forward to grade 11. My two favorite subjects are maths and biology.
Okay.
I think biology because I had the most amazing biology teacher, Rick Amateur, phenomenal biology teacher. And so when I had to apply for varsity, it's like, well, I guess you go for varsity. I didn't know anything, really bad guidance counseling. I didn't know what anything was. I didn't know what an engineer did. I knew nothing. I knew I liked maths. I knew I liked science. Sure. So I went to, and I always had this motto, which is dare to be different. So I figured, I'm going to go to Stellenbosch. No one from my school had ever been there. I'll go there and I'll go study maths and science. Didn't realize it was in Afrikaans, and I don't speak Afrikaans. So that was a bit about But the point is, I go to Stellenbosch, and that's why I started studying science, because I loved science. And I really, it was great. It was, I loved doing biology. I ended up doing zoology and animal physiology as my two majors. And it was really, I found it really interesting.
Yeah.
But subsequently, while that is happening, I'm doing magic tricks at kids' birthday parties and earning a little bit of bucks. Amazing. And I get into my final year of varsity, and UCT drama department has a comedy night at a pub down the main road over here.
Yeah.
Riyad Musa is on that. Riyad Musa is there. Conrad Koch is there, because they're all at UCT.
Sure.
Riyad does the first one. He calls me for the second one. He goes, because Riyad and I studied at the College of Magic together. Riyad, Conrad, and myself.
Oh, okay.
Joking.
Yeah, we're all College of Magic boys. So we known each other since we were 12 years old.
Wow.
So Riyad and myself, when we got to the end of our time at the College of Magic, because Riyad was in my class, Conrad was a year ahead, we saw a magician who was very funny, and he just added lots of comedy. And that was where the two of us kind of took our magic. So hence Riyad calling me and saying, yo, there's a comedy night over here. Bring some magic, make it funnier than normal, and they'll pay you $50 and all the free reds you can drink, which was like a cider from SAB. So I drive from Stellenbosch and come and do the thing. And I'd never performed on stage for people my age. You know, it was kids' birthday parties, or at varsity, you're kind of doing like card tricks for people in res. So this is a very different situation. I'm there, all smartly dressed like a magician. You know, the comedians are there looking cool in their jeans and t-shirts. I was like, oh, wow, this is different. And then someone sent a tequila up on stage, and I was like, no, this doesn't happen at kids' birthday parties. So that became a regular thing when I was in my final year of varsity.
Sure.
And by the time I got to the end of university, there was a comedy circuit in Cape Town. Sam Pierce and Mark Sampson had started the Cape Comedy Collective. There were about 9 or 10 of us. Mark Lottering, Chris McAvoy, Van Eyck Olivier, Paul Snodgrass, Dave Levinson, myself, Riyad, Conrad Koch, Mark Sampson, kind of the people who started it, Jason Cope. By 2 months later, people like Kurt Skundrat, Kagis Lediga, etc., had all joined this thing. A year later, it was Tracy Klaas and Louise Ogola and Sipho Mogal, and we had like 30, 40 of us over there. And this thing was a thing by the time I graduated.
Yeah.
And I literally, I can tell this because it's a podcast. So the real story goes like this. In my final year of varsity, I decide I need a job that's going to pay me because I like money. So, okay, let's get a job that's pays me. Because the science thing is not going to make you money. Because at that point, you realize what working in a lab will earn you.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I that's a nice car, and I'd like to drive one like that. Working in a lab ain't doing that. So I know this girl from youth, and her brother was an engineer, but then did an accounting degree afterwards. And it's called the Accounting Conversion course, and it's at UCT, and you do BCom 1, 2, and 3 in a single year.
Wow. Sure.
You go to all the classes, you write all the exams, you start early in Jan. I'm talking about like the 4th of Jan. You graduate at the end of that December. You can only do it if you have a degree because you understand the level of intensity of doing a 3-year course in 1 year. Yeah. You get classes 6 days a week, and on the 7th day, you do all your tutorials.
Every day?
Every day.
Yeah.
I think your Sunday tutorials until about lunchtime. So your off time is Sunday lunch till Monday morning.
Insane.
So I go, I write the aptitude test, I get in, I pay my thingy, my application fee. I'm going to go and do accounting. I'm going to be an accountant. It'll earn me 40,000 Rand a month, and I'll still get to do the comedy on the side, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So this is the plan. I pay my money, and I'm ready to go. And it's the beginning of January, and I'm sitting on my bed. I've finished my varsity by Stellenbosch. I'm now going to go to UCT. My mom comes in to the room, and she's like, "You want to be stuck in the office your whole life?"
Wow.
Because in her mind, she was like, she knew how much I loved the science degree. And she really thought that the science degree was a very practical. Because whenever she spoke, she's like, where were you? Oh, no, we were on the West Coast. We were counting mussels. Oh, no, we're walking down the river. We were counting crabs, whatever. So she always saw the practical side of what a zoology and animal physiology degree was. So she was like, oh, wow, I mean, that's a ton of time in the lab. But in her mind, she's like, oh, but you were at the beach, or you out on the ocean, or you whatever. You're doing these things, and now you're going to do accounting. So I didn't go.
Sure.
That's incredible.
Then I go, oh, here's the better example.
Sure.
There's a degree called the MPhil, right? Which is a MPhil, your master's in animal physiology. I'm going to go, I'll take this year off because I haven't applied. I'll take this year off. It'll be my gap year. I'll do comedy because this comedy thing has grown. Next year, I start my MPhil. It's a 2-year degree. 6 months on, 6 months off, 6 months on, 6 months off. For 2 years, I can still study while doing the comedy thing. At the end of that, I'm like 24, 25 years old. I'll have a master's from Stellenbosch, immediate opening to being a junior lecturer. By the time I'm 30, I've got my PhD. By the time I'm 40, I'm head of department. By the time I'm 50, I'm dean of the faculty. By the time I'm 55, I'm director of the university. Oh, shit, that's the path. And also, lecturing will kind of feel like performing. That's the path. So I take the year off and I do my gap year. And around about August, I go to Stellenbosch. I'm gonna register now. And they go, it's a 2-year structured course. It starts every second year. It started this year. So you can't start next year. You have to start the following year.
Yeah.
And I'm driving home going. And there are many things happening. At this point, Kurt's housemate had moved out. And I'm spending all of my time at Kurt's house anyway. The guys in the Cape Comedy Collective are going, Stu, if you want to level up your career, you've got to move out of your parents' separate entrance and cut the strings and fly. And I'm driving back to Cape Town going, what are you trying to say? Sure. And literally that was the decision. Okay, I'm going to move out. I'm going to move in with Kurt. And that's where this comedy career is going to start. And that was like 20 years ago.
Sure.
That's incredible.
Sure. The words from your mom as well, I think it just takes proper integrity and like being true to yourself to actually say, your mom has asked you, do you want to work in an office? For you to say, no, actually, I would not want to, and actually quit just like that. It actually takes a lot of discipline. Because I know, I don't know if I would be able to sometimes.
But I think it was almost easier because there's much to be said about being in the right place at the right time and a bit of luck involved. So there was this comedy circuit that was vibrant.
Yeah.
So the beauty of it is I wasn't quitting the accounting and going into nothing. I was actually, you're talking about, while I was at varsity, I was earning good money.
Sure.
And so now if I was done, I was like, and I was missing a ton of gigs because I'm still busy studying and I'm studying in Stellenbosch and everything is happening in Cape Town and the surrounding areas.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I am in Cape Town, I would work a lot more. If you just want to make it about money.
Yeah.
I would have made a lot more money being in Cape Town. So there was very much the safety net of this comedy thing is here and it's growing and it's not stagnating. There are too many gigs for the amount of comics. It was a wild time. In that you would open a gig in Blouberg and then drive through to Plumstead and close the gig over here.
Sure.
And then tomorrow you're opening a gig or you're doing a gig in Hermanus and then you're staying over and then ducking off to Botterfield and doing something like it was just this amazing circuit that had us all working all the time. Yeah. So that makes it a little bit easier when you go, oh no, there is this thing that is actually happening.
I hear that.
Yeah.
And the names you mentioned in that in the comedy collective, it's incredible. To think that everybody was around at that time. And
can I tell you the wildest thing? So I always point to there's the Malcolm Gladwell's got the book Outliers, where he explains, hey, some people, often you think it's not luck. You just look for the pattern, right? Yeah. So the example he gives, he goes, professional sports people, if you look at the pattern, they're all born in January or February.
Yeah.
Here's why it would make sense. Oh. So my kid is born on the 22nd of December. So he goes to school. He's 4 years old. He's starting. You go in the year you turn 4, right? Now, James was born on the 2nd of January. So James is 348 days older than my son. When you're 4 years old, that means a lot. When we say let's run a race. When you say let's play rugby tots and we're tossing a ball, James can toss a ball and suddenly the coach goes, wow, James is a really talented rugby player. James is just 300 days older than everyone else in his class. Yes. So the coach goes, James deserves extra lessons. Then the coach goes, James deserves the call up. Extra lessons, more input, more expertise. James, more opportunity. Wow, James is a Springbok now. Yeah, it's because James was born in January.
Yeah.
And what he did was he took a roster of basketball players and he saw they were all born in January.
Incredible.
So he spotted this thing. I'll tell you that to tell you this. Most of those people I mentioned to you were born in 1977 or 1978. Riyad Musa, Conrad Koch, Tsepo Mogale, Kagisile Diga, myself. There are outliers who weren't. Now, what it meant was when the comedy collective was starting, South Africa was ready to listen to fresher, younger voices, people of color, interesting perspectives. We could now push back to predominantly white audiences, and they were quite welcoming of what we had to say because it was new, it was interesting, it was fresh.
Yeah.
We were all done with varsity. If we were working, you wouldn't particularly far in your career. You could drop everything you were doing and go to Joburg because none of us were married. You could go and sleep on a couch for a week and it didn't matter. So we were all at the right age to not have any ties, but also to have old enough to have the discipline to say, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to work on it.
Yeah.
And then the outliers are people like Kurt. Kurt's an outlier. He's a little bit older than us, 2-3 years older than us, but had just broken up with a long-term girlfriend. And it was this way or that way. He married, and then Kurt would not be a part of our circuit. Not married, found himself with all these young guys. Dave Levinson just got divorced. No kids, just got divorced, and now found himself being able to have that same freedom and no commitment, no ties that the rest of us had.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
So it's quite, and then you watch the new group, Dale and Oliver, Robbie Collins, Mojack Lewoko. They are all born in the same year because there was something else that happened. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'll interrogate. Someone else must interrogate that. But many things, all the things come together.
Yeah.
We are there, we're available, and for the first time in history, South Africa gets a low-budget airline. You could fly to Joburg and back for $600. But the gig in Joburg was paying $700, $750. You tell me I can fly to Joburg, do the gig, and then come back and have $150, or stay there, do 4 gigs and come back and I can pay my rent. So as opposed to SAA was like an expensive airline. You had to save for that thing. Suddenly we could get to Joburg and back, go do Opikopi and come back over here, go do play Parker's Comedy Club for a week and come back over here. And likewise with them, because while we were in Cape Town, Joe Parker had his Comedy Express with Chris Forrest, 1977.
Yes.
David Cow, 1977.
Oh my goodness.
They had a whole group over there in Joburg, and there was a bit of an exchange. As I say, a couple of outliers, people like John Blismus and Barry Hilton, etc.
Yeah, that blows my mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting, eh?
That is
Very.
yeah. Wow. I also want to beautiful mind that and just like
yes,
really
100%.
go into that. What would you with you said you've got teenage kids, so if they're, when they're coming up, we've just spoken about studying. When they come up with their degree, are you going to be like, you should study magic or comedy? Have something to fall back on, like comedy or magic or something like that?
I really don't live in that world at all. It's funny. We were at a career fair with the 2 last week. So the one is grade 9, one's in grade 10. So you're like, just choose good subjects, boys. They won't exclude you from anything. And they've got great subjects. So really good subjects that'll get you anywhere. But Andy, for the longest time, has been like, I want to be a DJ. So like, oh, yeah, my boy, please. When you are playing Ibiza, can I get onto the guest list? Like,
That's
100%.
Nice.
Yeah. If they have any interest in anything, jeez, bro, go. Yeah. And so it's so funny because Andy just got his first aid. He was so proud yesterday. He got his T-shirt and his fleece for first aid, and it's really nice quality and looks really good. And he's so excited about wearing this to be a medic on the field. And then we saw an ambulance a couple of days ago. He was like, "Oh, do you think I could be a medic?" I was like, a doctor or medic? He's like, no, I want to. I was like, bro, that's anything you want to be, my friend. Just find something you like and then go and do that.
Literally.
Yeah.
I suppose that kind of, your experience with life of how a lot of doors opened at certain times and just the opportunities. It's almost like, you could just go do it because it might change.
100%. Yeah. Listen, if I had it my way and you don't have it your way, if you have a say over your kids, what I would wish is that they would go to varsity and study like a marketing degree. Become marketing.
Sure.
So if you understand marketing, it doesn't matter what you do. You can then be at the top of your game. People who market themselves well are the ones who end up at the top. Do that. And then when you leave, go and learn a trade, my boy. Be a plumber, be an electrician. My dad was a plumber. Yeah. And he had a construction company. And like honestly, if it wasn't comedy, I would happily have followed in his footsteps, and I would be living in Camps Bay right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like literally, it's wild. Like a dude from Grassy Park in apartheid who got to put his son through varsity, and just like, I mean, with the limited opportunities he was given, and like had to fight for every bit over there. You go, man, level the playing fields. This dude with his work ethic and his quality of work would have been like a freaking Murray of Murray and Roberts. Well, let's not talk about that. They're bankrupt now.
So
wow.
And what's like the balance between you saying your kids can be anything that they want, and maybe you saying, okay, but maybe not this, and maybe not like this? I don't know. Like, how do you?
It's funny. The only thing I have against the EMT is it feels like a dangerous job now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ambulances end up in dodgy areas, and for whatever reason, people will end up attacking an ambulance, and those also are unarmed, and then you go, it's actually a dangerous job now. So anything that feels like it's going to be dangerous, I would probably dissuade you from. But no, anything. You can be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go. What do you like doing?
That's cool.
And it was so great. We were at this career fair, and the most succinct, helpful person was the person from UWC who asked Dave point blank. He said, I need you to ask yourself four questions. What am I good at? What am I not good at? What can I tolerate? What will I not tolerate? And if you can answer that, you'll know what you can study.
Perfect.
I was like, Dave, I said, thank you very much, sir. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So we go, yo, you are not good at this thing over here, bro. Move it out.
Yeah.
You are good at this. And thankfully, as I say, they are very good at maths, both of them, and they're very good at science. I go, that means there's a lot it just opens up a lot for you if you are good at maths and science. You go, that's like a massive hill to climb if it's something that you struggle with.
Yeah.
So what can you tolerate? What won't you tolerate?
Yeah.
Figure that out, and you figure out where you want to end up.
Yeah. And also probably being a salesman. I think, if you're a good salesman.
100%.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
One of the best bits of advice I got, parenting advice I got, was from Tracy Claus. And I got it from the College of Magic, so I agree with it because I've got the anecdotal evidence. She said she forced her two boys to study drama.
She forced her kids to study drama.
Yeah. So you got to take drama as a subject at school.
Sure.
Yep. And they were like, she said, it's not about doing Shakespeare and matric, boys. It's about how you present yourself in the world.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, fast forward a couple of months later, one of her sons, who now can present because he's got a degree in drama, and he's eloquent, and he speaks beautifully, and he's confident. He's over in Europe, and his boss says to him, you present. And he presents, and they offer him the head of New Balance for the region.
Unbelievable.
Just go move to Liverpool, and this dude is like a real junior person, takes over New Balance for the region because he can communicate, and he can speak, and he can say to people, this is the vision, this is the thing, and this is where we want to go.
Yeah.
It's not no good. You know it and you understand. You created that spreadsheet, but you can't explain it to people.
Yeah.
So and I got that from the College of Magic, the idea of the magic of self-esteem. You can sit, you can talk to people, you can explain, you can become a bit more eloquent just because you've practiced it.
Wow. Amazing. We have to talk about your new show. You're at the Baxter.
I'm at the Baxter Theatre with a show called Odd Man Out at the moment. So that show ran at the Arts Festival, last year's Arts Festival, and I wrote it as a work in progress and did very well and got really good acclaim. And then it came to Cape Town for a short run and went to Joburg for a short run, and then it went to Gqeberha, and it played in front of the whole front row was just a bunch of uncles that were there without their wives. And they were heckling me through the whole thing and chirping in through the whole thing. And it was brilliant because they gave me some of the funniest punchlines ever. Okay. And literally their input became the show that it is now. Like they were saying these things. I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't join that. Oh, that's so clever. And when I did it after that, I was like, I went, oh, this is what it is. This is what it feels like now. So one final run. I'm at the Baxter Theatre 13 to 15 November. Only 3 days, 4 shows, and then a couple of days later, I'm at Theatre on the Square in Sandton from the sort of 18th to the 23rd of November. And then I think I say goodbye to it. Then I've got to write a new show.
And write a new show after that.
Sure.
What does that entail, writing a new show?
So I've done it in many different ways. Sometimes I will literally book a date, come up with a name and go, okay, so now I need to write a show.
Yeah. Would you say you came up with the name first of the show, or
often there'll be a name, but they'll be like,
like
a learner husband.
Yeah.
Go, thematically, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I was once very broke. We were doing a renovation, and I was like, spent a long time renovating this house and not realizing you're not working, you're just spending money. I swipe the strip of a credit card. At the end I was like, I'm broke, bruh. So I wrote a show called Money Society Dimension, which is just about life in the burbs and what you got to do when you're broke and how you reset. And I was like, just so often I'll write around a theme.
Yeah.
So but that in recent years is not how I choose to write. The way I choose to write now is I'll write a bit. And so I'm here's a funny thing we say, here's a saying people use. I've never heard that. Then I go to a comedy club and I do the bit and I let the bit grow and I let it breathe and I let it live and then I put it to the side and then I put out the next bit. And often, and that's how Odd Man Out was written, you start going, there's a theme emerging in what I'm writing right now. Clearly, I could have called the show Imposter Syndrome. Clearly, this show is about how you fit in and how you show up in the world, and the fact that you don't feel like you should be, but you can't show up like that because you need your kids to live in these spaces and take ownership of these spaces. And so let's not hand over the generational trauma to them. I was like, this show is about being the odd man out and finding your feet in those spaces.
Okay.
Theme emerges. Then I go, now I can top and tail it with ideas and find little creative hooks that make it feel like a beginning, middle, and end. But the material all has a theme already.
Yeah, and you've tested a lot of it.
And it's been tested. So when I do the show, I go, it's just the links now that don't work. But once I'm in a gag, boom, the gag works. And it's a funny thing to watch. Jason Goliath was telling me that because he watched the Joburg run. And it's like, the material is so funny. Like, I can see when you're going from the show to the comedy club. Because your show, you are there doing a show. And then you go into the material and it's just the material it's worked. And so post the uncles, now the whole show just feels organic. And it's
so
cool. I like that taking what the hecklers gave you.
Yes. They were good hecklers. Don't heckle unless you've got something very funny to say.
A lot of people think they're funny.
Unfortunately, yeah. But these uncles, I couldn't shut them up because it was just so fun. Like it just started when one uncle said one thing and everyone burst out laughing and I couldn't stop laughing. And then like his friends were all like, oh no, we got to be funnier than that.
Yeah.
Like he'd set the bar and then they were all just chirping and it's like, and then I could go, no, leave it for him over here. And then someone else does, okay, no. The two of you can chime in, you stop chiming in. So, yeah.
Which one would you say is like your favorite show of all time? Like when you think of this one, you're like, ooh, love that show.
It's a tough one because they're like my kids. They all feel like my kids. When I write a new show, I really do feel like I feel really bad. Like I feel like especially if there's an overlap in shows. So I'll be doing a show and then I'll be writing a new show and I start enjoying this one so much more. And then I'm like, I'm cheating on the old show by doing the new show. I shouldn't be doing that new material because the old material will find out.
Yeah.
And so they were all great for a certain time. I look back at them and I go, some of them some of them meant a lot more. So the first couple of shows, you're finding your voice. And I'd say the first show, which is like maybe 4 or 5 shows in, I wrote a show called Techni-Coloured, which was great. It was about identity. It was the first show I worked with Heinrich Reisenhofer. It was very much about him saying, find your own voice, find your own style, find your own, and I'll add to it.
Okay.
And all the shows I wrote with Heinrich were great. We did Techni-Coloured, Money Society Dimension, Learn a Husband, the book launch. And then I kind of used his ideas and what I'd learned from him to write a show, which I really enjoyed, called Bespoke. Which no one else enjoyed. That was a weird. It was like really. It was a great show, but it might have been slightly ahead of its time. And then I wrote a show called Laughable, which is like that's a great show.
Sure.
Amazing.
But I really like Odd Man Out. But Laughable, the theme of Laughable means more to me, but I don't need to get into that. Whereas Odd Man Out is a better show, but Laughable means more.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And like you spoke about like one of the shows not having grabbed like the people's attention, wasn't a good show. If you ever feel like that on stage, does it ever like just make you feel like, okay, the rest of the show is not going to be good and you don't even want to get into it?
No. So the thing with Bespoke was an interesting thing because it was about, I always like the idea, like you start the show with an image and you end the show with an image, and it feels like it's full circle. So in Bespoke, I start the show by talking about the fact that I was in Thailand. I got a suit, right? And the guy said to me, do you want to put a label in? We can put any label. We can put in an Armani label. We can put in a Hugo Boss label. What label you want? Put a pin in that. We'll get back to it in a second. And I explain the show is very much about the labels people put on each other. Yeah. And words people use and slurs that people use. And the show was very triggering.
Oh, wow.
It was like, hey, okay, we're going to deal with it. We're going to find out where these words come from and what their power is. And we're going to try and demystify it. And the end of it, I go, so one day when my kids come to me and they go, yo, Dad, what am I? Am I colored? Am I a bushman? Am I whatnot? What am I? I'm going to go, son, you like my Thailand suit. You custom made. You tailor made.
Yeah.
You bespoke.
Sure.
And it doesn't matter what label you put in it, as long as you feel comfortable in your skin. Beautiful thing. Like for me, I was like, shit, it's this great thing. But the material was very hard. And I reworked some of that material and did it in a show called Funny You Should Say That. And it was softer. Like I could soften it, but in Bespoke, I didn't soften it. It was like, we're going to sit in the discomfort of it. And after that, I was like, I don't want to do that again because it felt alienating to the audience to sit in the discomfort of something.
Okay.
Yeah. And I go, maybe that's not what people come to a comedy show for. And then I go, it feels ahead of its time because there are other comedy centers in this world where that is a thing where people come for the discomfort. They're like, yes. Take us over there. I was like, we have too much on our plate to be dealing with discomfort at a comedy show. Let's just find the material that everyone can laugh at.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
To me, it just kind of struck me that like a show can be so important to you and not work.
Yes. And this is, I think like my wife always goes, because for you, it was the best thing you'd ever written. In that moment, I was like, I can't see why anyone dude, I was like, this is the what do you call it, the opus or whatever, like this is like I've worked my whole life to create this thing. And it's so good to me.
Amazing.
And it's so good to, and the truth is, I mean, people never gave it negative comments. People were just like it was hard for them to sit through it, and it felt like you were alienating an audience, which is not necessarily what I want to do.
You know, like we always associate success with monetary value. Would you consider that show a success? Not maybe because it might have been your best, a show that the audience loved the most, but was it still a success to you because of the material that you created for it?
Maybe I should reframe it like that. Because I don't see it as a success. I see, I'm annoyed that it's not a success. But maybe I should reframe it for myself and go, but I did form the basis of something which then did become more successful. Yeah, as I say, these things are an interesting. It's interesting how you choose to define something. As this was successful and that wasn't successful. And the one thing I try to not define it on is audience numbers. That's what I try to not define it on. So I'll define it on audience responses. If you're playing in a 50-seater or a 500-seater, I don't go the 500-seater was a more successful show. Simply because I also know that when you're playing in a much bigger arena style space, you never get to have the same moments of like genuine connection sometimes with watching on the screen. Can you really be as vulnerable as you can in a 200-seater? That's the question.
Also an interesting point is that the suit analogy that was in that show. And it's now something that it's now a gift to your kids, this whole thing of how do you label yourself. So perhaps as a parent, it might be your most successful show because you've come up with this incredible, powerful analogy for your
and maybe children, Techni-Coloured was a phenomenally successful show because it dealt with identity.
Yeah.
And maybe I think you might have just unlocked something for me. Techni-Coloured was very good because it dealt with identity, and it was this walking out on stage going, man, I don't think I'm the sum total of what you think I am.
Yeah.
Because you've got this idea of what I should be, and I'm not that.
Yeah.
And it was in 2007, it was the first of it was a tax on when you attack someone because they're from a different country.
It was the xenophobia.
Yeah. First kind of bout of xenophobia. And there was, and especially in Joburg, there was this feeling amongst everyone, black people, white people, Indian people, colored people. Man, I'm not what the media portrays me to be.
Yeah.
I am not the sum total of this thing that you think I am. And then in Cape Town, it was the same thing. But I'm not this thing that the media keeps on portraying me as. And so the audience walked out there. It didn't matter where they were from, across the country. They all just went, he's speaking to me. In Durban, Indian people were like, he's speaking to me. In Joburg, black people were like, oh my goodness, he's speaking. And we were literally playing to percentages of demographics. In Cape Town, you were playing to 70% colored audiences. And in Joburg, you were playing to 80% black audiences. And everyone just went, shit, there's this voice that says something for me. And it dealt with me and my identity. Bespoke dealt with my kids' identity.
Yeah.
Sure.
And no one in the audience went, oh shit, yes.
Wow.
The penny drops for me that what you feel about your kids, I also feel about my kids. And so maybe that's why it was like, you guys you're not getting what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still a successful show.
Is there anyone that you look up to right now that you feel like, if I could get to their point, to their level, I've made it in life?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
That's a great
like
answer.
Yes, man, you understand, I have the most amazing life. I was walking on the beach. So it was Monday. I just finished an edit. And I was in Paternoster. And it's 6 o'clock. And I finish my edit. I close my laptop and I go down to the house and I take a beer. I walk down to the bench and I'm sitting on a beach. It's a deserted beach. And it's 6:10 and I crack a beer and I go, you won, bro.
Nice. Wow.
You absolutely won.
Yeah.
And it was Tuesday because it was the night of the big lottery draw. There's a lottery draw of 160 million. And I was going, if I won the lottery, my life wouldn't change.
Oh, I love that.
My kids would go to the same schools.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'd live in the same I might buy a bigger house, but I'd live in the same suburb.
Sure.
Maybe I'd buy a slightly faster car. My life would not change.
Amazing.
Like there's nothing that changes my life because like for now, my kids I've got like 2 or 3 more years of school. And so I'm here now. After that, give me that 160 million. I'd like a helicopter so I can fly wherever I want to go. But for now, right now, it's great. I get to do these shows.
Yeah.
I get to produce stuff. I get to create. I get to talk to interesting people on podcasts.
Yeah.
What a
Sure.
I like that you pointed to us.
Yeah, interesting people.
what a thing.
Sure.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yo, if you ask me that question,
I see. Don't get me wrong. I also know what it's like to be very recognized and to not be very recognized.
Okay.
And it's very nice to quietly do things as opposed to having people wanting some of your time when it's not go time, when it's not, I'm here, I'm on.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Luminous anonymity or whatever. You're there. It's like,
Yeah.
Amazing.
How great.
Literally.
How fantastic.
Yeah.
So I want to be like you when I grow up.
Me too.
What
Amazing.
What a life.
Amazing. Before we start landing the plane, we normally I normally ask the crew what was the questions from the plebs? What did we call it? We've got to come up with a good name. I find often these guys always have like a question that they've been like dying to ask.
I often feel that like people who are really funny kind of developed their sense of humor as like a coping mechanism. And I was wondering if facing a certain amount of adversity is like a prerequisite for being a comedian.
Sure.
I don't think a prerequisite for being a comedian, but I do think South Africans
Oh yeah.
have a superpower. The other thing I think our superpower is that we can take our adversity and we can turn it into entertainment or comedy.
Yeah.
When the Cape Town Marathon gets cancelled and they end up in a bar and they're having a jaw, there's something about the resilience of South Africans that allows us to turn tragedy into triumph and pain into comedy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, like, there's a Chris Rock line.
Yeah.
There's a Chris Rock is Dave Chappelle line. He was talking about South African comics. He was going, South Africa makes comics the way Jamaica makes sprinters. It's like, it's just the thing you can do. There's something about the way you guys are tempered that you make comedians. It's because we can be foolish about the most serious things. Last week, I've never been with seen the president before. Hello, cupcake.
Yeah.
Like, that sums up South Africa. That a little girl can call the president cupcake and the country will laugh and no one will be like, how dare you? No, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to find, and our president will laugh about it. And we'll hug her and he will go, so silly.
Yeah.
The president gets the joke as well.
He gets the joke because he's South African. He goes, there's no malice in that thing. In all we do is there's something about us that we just go, hey man, we can take tragedy and we can take the down and we can just go, let's find the comedy in it. Let's find the thing in it. So I think it's it's like a South African thing.
Oh, I love that.
As opposed to just a comedian thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
To be a good comedian, you must be South African.
There you go.
So, like, I've just picked up now, like, you're such a great storyteller. So I'm a 78. I'm 1978. So I remember there was this time, like, it was after 94 and we get out of school. And it was this cool time. Music was my thing. So music was just amazing. It was a cool thing happening. So you're saying the same thing was happening in comedy there. Like, I think I know what was happening, like the narrative that was going on around there with the storytelling. We're sort of unpacking the Rainbow Nation, all of that sort of stuff, you know. I feel like we've moved into another space and I'm interested to know, what are the stories that people are telling now? Like, what are the stories that are coming out?
Ooh, that is a very good question. So to just kind of distill where we were in those late 90s years, because the music thing kind of bubbled just a little bit before that. So sort of in the late 90s, 95. So about 96, 95, 96, you had the Nude Girls and Vingerstock happened and all of those oaks, and you know there was like a vibe and people were feeling South African music, and we had our own sound. And we emerged from that and we talked to an audience who's now willing to hear an alternative perspective, right? An audience who wants to have you feel South African. And I'm going to say something with great love and respect to Mark Sampson. Mark was an English comic who kind of rallied the troops. And his wife Sam was English. And they were like, guys, what they saw happening with Lenny Henry them in the 80s, they felt could happen in this country. That there could be female voices, that there could be people of color's voices coming to the front over here. And so that's what they pushed very hard. Comedy for the people, by the people. Come now, you tell your stories. And the audiences were very much open to it. They were very, and what it meant, unfortunately for Mark, what it meant was, they didn't want to hear him and his English accent. So they were like, that was great in 1994. But now it's 1999. We actually want to hear someone who says exe or awe or the isms that make you South African were the things that people are like, oh, it doesn't have to be an American version or English version. We can actually hear our own stories now. And so that was what was happening at that time. In terms of what's happening now, I think that we have a slightly more fractured comedy industry right now, in that I find that audiences go, this is who I go and watch. He talks to me, he tells me my stories. So, and you'll feel it.
Yeah.
You feel it when you're on stage with a comic. Alfred Adrian was very nice. He was doing his first Baxter run shortly out of COVID, and he wanted to say, Stu, it's going to be great. I'm going to get a bunch of locals to just come, just do like 5 minutes up front. To be like amazing that Stuart came and opened my show. Kurt, and he had all of us, and all of us were like, yo, it was actually quite shit, bro. I never told him this. But only because the audience wanted you, my guy.
Yeah.
They would look at us, Stu, yeah. I came here for that guy I see on the internet. I laugh. He kept me laughing through my whole lockdown. Stu, yeah. It's like, where's Alfred? You could feel that in the audience. And I think that's what audiences feel like right now. They go, this is our guy. He speaks to us.
Yeah.
And so he tells me my stories. And I think it might be partially because we've lost all of our comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, they never came back.
Yeah.
So you don't have like a general comedy audience. You have like your own audience.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing, but I think it feels like there's like a bit of a resurgence where you do have more ensemble spaces opening, and I think that'll maybe get us back to a point where we can tell more generic stories, and where people are open to hearing everyone else's stories as opposed to just the echoing of their own stories.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, I kind of feel like that as well. I feel like there's a shift happening, which is
yes,
great. Yeah.
The purge is done.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're here now. You're still in this thing.
Yeah.
Now let's build it.
Yeah. This has been amazing. I got nothing left to ask. Or I've just been. This has been fantastic. I don't know if you've got anything else.
Same. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much for doing this.
No, thank you.
podcast.
Thanks for the opportunity. You're always like to chat.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I'm going to see if I can get my wife to bring me to your show.
It's a great date night. See you there at Baxter. Odd Man Out.
Odd Man Out, 13th to 15th November.
13th to 15th November.
And then you've got...
and then Joburg 18 to 23 November.
Amazing. Okay, we're going to put all those dates and all the links to that on.
Might catch both the Cape Town and Joburg.
Awesome.
So when I leave that site.
Excellent.
Amazing.
We'll catch you there.
Fantastic.
Lovely.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes. So that's it from us. Don't forget to like on our
and
YouTube
subscribe.
channel.
Yeah.
Simple Kosi and Dave. That's it.
Yeah.
And also to comment as well.
Yeah,
Share your thoughts as well in the comment
That's it.
section. We love to hear from you guys.
That's it. And this season we're supporting the Menstruation Foundation.
Yes.
Menstruation.foundation. And that is to end period poverty in South Africa.
Yes.
It's a great cause. Check it out. All the links are on the website, and also we'll put them here on this podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's it from Kosi and Dave. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to Stuart. This has been amazing.
Thank you.
Awesome.